Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the DC Multiverse Collector's Edition Action Comics. Is it number 1? Superman. Superman. Or as, is it the Kinks say? Superman. Now a lot of people think this looks a lot more like Superman number 1. Superman. And that's okay, because regardless of what specific comic book this figure is based off, it is nonetheless brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys, who, as far as this whole collector's edition thing is concerned, I don't know if they really get the gist of that yet. Granted, this is wave 1 of these, because here at Overlord Productions, the slogan, the main slogan of the channel is better late than never. And need I remind you of the 7-month hiatus? Okay. But this was the first collector's edition figure. And the only accessory he comes with that's really beneficial to himself are these chains. So he's stuck with one hand bigger than the other all the time. That kind of sucks. That said, one thing you can do with these chains is you can clip them together. I'm not going to do it with every link here, but you can clip them together here, and here. That way they're nice and tight, but they don't fit around the figure that way, so that seems kind of pointless. But it's a nice feature, I suppose. They're not like bendy wire or anything like that. I don't know why anyone would think they would be, but they're just painted with a little bit of a wash there. And then we also get a handy dandy figure falling off screen. Alright, cool. General Sundar from Motu Classics. You know, the best classics, or Motu line ever. Figures can't stand with shit. We get a handy dandy McFarlane Toys flight stand. That said, the clips on these have been modified so they're not loose as heck. So that's nice. But rather than this, really, I would have rather have gotten the hands that new Superman comes with. The DC Classic Superman. I would have much rather have gotten all those hands, because the fact that we have a figure with one hand bigger than the other is absolutely ridiculous. And since this figure costs $30 and is not a new mold, I kind of don't see the point. That said, you know what we do get? $30. We get a handy dandy McFarlane Toys card stand with a collectible trading card in it. I'm going to take it out because it's kind of a bitch to get back in there. And the bio on the back is for Superman. We all know Kal-El, Clark Kent, the last son of Krypton is, so there you go. That said, this figure looks nothing like that whatsoever. Would have been nice if we got the car he's holding. That would have definitely been worth $30 and would have spawned more hate towards the Engine of Vengeance. Either way, comes with the hockey puck display stand. We used to see him with all McFarlane Toys releases. This one has the little DC logo on it, so that's nice. But here is the figure, and for the most part, this is Hush Superman. If I had to guess. Which is also the Infected Superman, which, you know, I don't hate this buck at all. I think it's appropriate for Superman, but I think the legs are a little stubby. I feel like the legs could be swapped out. And to my understanding, this is a Platinum Edition variant of this figure. And the main difference is the boots. He's got the red boots. He might have a little chip of paint because I cut a chunk off his leg earlier. There's a big old mold flash right around the cuff of his boot, so hopefully he's not janky looking there, but whatever. It's on the back. He's got the logo printed on his chest. Is this the first time we've seen that? I'm trying to think if the Superman that came with Doomsday had that going on. Which this figure, very much so, is the same as that. Is the exact same mold as that. So, at any rate, you might be able to use the hands from that figure. And he did come with flight hands, so that might be something I do. Pop this fist off, give him the other kind of just relaxed open hand, and have him flying about. That said, as far as articulation on this figure goes, he does have the double ball peg in the head, so he can look up, he can look down, he can tilt side to side. I will tell you, the head sculpt's decent. I'm curious if that mullet Superman head would work on this body. He doesn't have the rebirth looking cape, but he also doesn't have that yellow S on the back. I don't think, anyway. But at any rate, shoulders can go out, back down. They do rotate. They are on that rotator cap thing, but I really had to hit mine with a little bit of heat to get those suckers freed up to work. He does have a bicep swivel, double elbow, which is not the best looking thing ever. He just has like a chonk here. And then this is just kind of whatever. But it's better than the Cliffs of Dover, that's for sure. He does have ball hinge wrists. And I will tell you, you can heat this hand up and get it off there. It's not very hard. But look at the size of his fist. Here, let's bring these arms forward a bit. There we go. Look at the size of the fist compared to the open hand. It's like twice the size. I would have rather just gotten two open hands, dude. Like, what the hell is going on there? He's got like a big ass freaking Popeye hand. But yeah, that's just weird. And you have a big freaking tumor-sized arm to go with it. Torso articulation kind of sucks. It does lean back, not so much forward, and it does rotate. It is a little loose, but not terrible. It does have a waist swivel. It does also have a ball joint in there. His legs kick forward. They do kick back a smidge. And they kick out. At least the joints on the legs aren't bad. He's got a thigh cut. It does work a little bit there. I think on both sides, yeah. The knees do bend like that. And it's just kind of flat. No Cliffs of Dover. No like big gnarly cuts or anything in there. He does have the ball hinge ankles, which on this guy are nice and tight. They've always been tight for this body. Then he does have the rocker and the toe joint, which is loose on both sides. So, yeah, whatever. It's a little too far back too, but not the best figure to start with for this collector's edition thing, I'm afraid. He's just kind of a mid-level Superman, but I feel like if you gave him the better torso articulation, you know, put a double ball peg in there, got him to frickin' stand with this shit. Is this ankle back enough? I don't know. Yeah, there we go. That works. But with a little kit bashing potential, I think you can make something out of this figure. I don't think it's bad. I think he looks pretty decent. If you want to build a classic Justice League, this is the one to get. And as far as I know, it's the only one BBTS has. That's where I got mine. Gosh. Really? Come on. Why aren't his legs lining up for me here? what's going on with that? Alright, there. But that's where I got mine. And it seems to me like they only have the Platinum Edition, which a lot of collectors seem to prefer. I don't really know what the big problem was with the first one. I mean, yeah, he had the boot sculpt, and he probably shouldn't have, but other than that, I didn't notice a whole lot wrong with that figure. I thought it was okay. My main gripe is that he doesn't come with shit for hands, and that sucks. Because he's got one giant, freaking over-exaggerated cartoon, like Animaniacs hand, and then he's got a normal-sized hand. So, if anything, if you have that Doomsday 2-pack, swap both hands onto this guy, and then put the flight hands on that figure, or something, you know? Or put the flight hands on this guy, maybe, but they should fit. It's the same buck. But at any rate, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Clark Kent, aka Kal-El, aka Superman, alongside the only other figures in this first collector's edition wave, brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys. We have Abyss and Alan Scott Green Lantern, both of which I'll have reviews going up of later in the week, so stay tuned for that. Abyss will be tomorrow, and Alan Scott will be Friday, as that nasally bitch always says. Is it just me, or is Superman a little short? He's a little short, especially compared to Abyss there. What the hell? Getting these two out of the way. Very interesting. Like, Abyss seems so modern, and then these two seem so classic. That said, this will be one of my reviews that bringing in the Mythic Legions per the Mandibulus, whether it makes sense or not. He is the mascot of the channel after all. This stupid frickin' sideways cape shit, man. It doesn't work with my method of doing size comparisons. There's the infamous K11 Spawn. I didn't even do the Mr. Mackey thing. That cape pissed me off so much. So, there you go. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, Spawn is huge compared to the Superman. Holy shit. But with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and while this may not be the most perfect Superman figure from the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line, I mean, what Superman figure have we gotten from this line really is, and at the end of the day, my favorite Superman figures are a vampire, a zombie, and a Gundam. So, what would I know about good, traditional-looking Superman figures, right? I do like that Gladiator one, but at the end of the day, this is not a bad, classic Superman figure. I think it's fine. It utilizes that infected Superman body, which I think we've seen a little bit too much. Granted, it's not nearly as bad as the Year 2 Batman body. Throw that body in the nearest river, because that shit is hottest of hot garbage. But this body, I can at least tolerate and appreciate, because it is a well-proportioned body. It's just a little short, and I think if they were to tweak the legs, I think this would probably be the better of the Superman bodies they have. That and the upper torso. I think the upper torso articulation is a little too limited as well. So, other than that, I really don't have too many issues with this body. But as far as this figure goes, we did get a fist hand that's larger than the hand on the opposite side. That's kind of stupid. The chains are cool. I don't mind those too much. I would have traded the flight stand for, an open hand and a fist hand for the opposite side. I mean, he's busting out of chains. Is he going to have, relaxed looking open hands or just two fists? Give us two fists, give us two open hands. Don't do this, half hand set shit. That's annoying to me. Hasbro and Marvel Legends does that enough. I don't need McFarlane to start doing that too, unless there's a specific reason for it, But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.